He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Wicked Weed Brewing.
It is the second hour of the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We are in the Ingles studio. Don't forget you can see us as well at thesportsocracy.com. Right there on the front page, click on that live video link. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to the YouTube channel so you'll know whenever we are on, especially as it comes to this weekend when we will be on for 7 hours of commercial-free live reactions to the both of the conference championship games this weekend, starting at 3 o'clock on Sunday. TheSportsocracy.com. Second hour of the program brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing. Check them out at wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Coaching searches continuing in the NFL, and it looks like there's strong evidence that the Las Vegas Raiders may have thrown us a curveball. We thought about, Rich Bisaccia. We debated whether or not he should be staying on as the head coach for this upcoming season. We all know about Jim Harbaugh. And
the Jim Harbaugh thing's not happening.
Right. That has gone away. It's not going to happen. And now they apparently have an interview scheduled, or a second interview scheduled, with Josh McDaniels, the longtime offensive coordinator for Bill Belichick with the New England Patriots. Of course, who can forget the miserable few years that he spent as the head coach of the Denver Broncos when he had Tim Tebow as his quarterback. This is not good. Like, everybody talks about, me being a Raiders hater because I was the one that kept saying, no, this team ain't as good as you think it is. They have good pieces, but this ain't the way. I don't think bringing in Josh McDaniels is a good idea in any stretch of the imagination.
This is what happens when you hear that ownership is big game hunting, because Josh McDaniels is one of the biggest names that you could go get.
Yes.
The problem is that I've already seen him do this. I've already seen him be a head coach, and it was a disaster. He was not average. He was not bad. He was a nightmare in your own division. And now you want to sign up for that? I don't understand this in the least. Nobody liked him. The fan base was over it within 20 games.
Oh, yeah.
And now what do you think is going to happen here? Everybody, and the thing that really blows my mind is the thought process here is this is going to be a pairing with Dave Ziegler, the de facto Patriots GM, coming to the Raiders as their new GM to replace Mike Mayock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be real honest with something. We talk about how bad the head coaches have been because we know what their names are. GMs don't get the same kind of notoriety. They've been equally bad. In large part, anything that has come out of the Bill Belichick system has been terrible everywhere else. I'll tell you a fun stat about Bill's assistants.
Okay.
There have been 7 that have gotten head coaching jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Josh McDaniels, Romeo Crennel, Eric Mangini, Bill O'Brien, Matt Patricia, Brian Flores, Joe Judge.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think their combined winning percentage is?
Ooh, I'm going to guess it's...
Don't say 175.
No, it's
that's
342.
You're a little low. It's 410.
Okay.
If you take Bill O'Brien away, it's hovering right around 30%.
Oh, wow.
Minus, there's some contingencies to that.
Okay.
Bill O'Brien was right. I think you have to take away the first season or something like that in Houston. They have 5 playoff berths combined.
Mm-hmm.
O'Brien had 4 and Mangini had 1. This never works. It absolutely never works. And I can tell you why. Because there is no Bill. There is no Bill that can oversee these places. Just because you know his way doesn't mean you're him.
No, it doesn't mean you can replicate it.
Just because you can bring in Gerard Mayo, of which, by the way, that is something I've heard, is that what could end up happening is that you get Dave Ziegler as the GM, Josh McDaniels as the head coach, and Gerard Mayo as the associate head coach in charge of the defense.
We'll see then. Now that maybe that'll work. If we bring in 3 Patriots at once, maybe that'll work.
Trust me, as somebody that's watched us hire one of these guys, it's already been tried.
Right.
Tried, tested, and failed with the man genius.
Right. I mean, the overwhelming thought is, and you said this yesterday, that if it wasn't close and there wasn't interest on both sides from the Raiders standpoint and from Josh McDaniels, this wouldn't have come out that he's going to interview.
Because you can't float this.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those there's a reason that you haven't heard his name attached to anybody else. Oh, he's going to interview for the Texans. No, he didn't. Because he's been very measured about what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
He can't really even show interest in one of these jobs without knowing full well I'd take it if it was offered. After what happened with the Colts, you come in, you're the head coach for 36 hours. They sign a defensive coordinator to a contract before they sign you. If I live to be 200 years old, I will never understand how that happened. And then you bail. There's obviously mutual interest.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, this strikes me as Mark Davis trying to win the press conference. I'm trying to win this with the fan base. This is a winner. And the fan base will be okay with this as opposed to me hiring Rich Bisaccia. And it is a completely horrible idea. I haven't liked it much of anything that's happened in this Raiders search.
Mm-hmm.
And the bad thing is it's starting to remind me of Al.
Al?
His father.
Oh, Al Davis. Okay.
It's starting to remind me of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are red flags everywhere.
Yes.
And you're colorblind to it.
Mm-hmm.
I am colorblind. I'm allowed to say that. And I don't get it. I don't for the life of me understand what it is that this guy has done that makes you think this is not going to go exactly how all the others have gone.
I don't either.
Because be really honest with yourself. And this is an old dating adage. You can be a jerk when you're a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bill's a jerk, and Bill's a 10.
Yep.
Josh McDaniels, he's a soft 4. So if you come in like that and you don't win at a high level immediately, you're going to rub everybody the wrong way.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm such a nice guy, because I'm a 2 at best. I have to be all sweet and cuddly because I ain't got much else going for me.
I'm a mediocre 5, but my mule's a 12. So.
I don't understand what the thought is here. I mean, other than it's the reputation that Josh McDaniels has. I mean, we've thought that he's a really good offensive mind. At one point, he was considered to be, the brilliant wunderkind of the NFL. And that's why he got the job in Denver. It obviously went horribly. He didn't have a quarterback, so maybe that's what you're thinking, is that the Josh McDaniels era in Denver didn't go well because he just didn't have the personnel to pull it off. Well, when he comes to Las Vegas, he's going to have weapons to use. He's going to have Darren Waller, one of the best tight ends in the league. He's going to have Derek Carr, who's a really good quarterback in this league. For as much punishment as he takes from the media, he's still very, very good. And so that can, I mean, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go down this path. To me, I mean, it's just another, it's another in the line of failed decisions that the Raiders organization has made over the years.
Well, I mean, be honest with yourself. We've already seen you do this once. You did this once with John Gruden.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the parallels of that. You went and got a coach that you were up in arms about going to get, that nobody else wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Gave them way more money than anybody else would if they were even interested. And you think this is the solution. I do not for the life of me know what it is about Mark Davis that attracts him to coaches that think they're smarter than they are. But that's exactly what this is.
Mm-hmm.
And you fall into this trap of, the Patriot way. No. Patriot way was Tom Brady. I mean, everybody understands that, right?
I don't know that I'd completely agree with that.
Do they draft well?
No, not necessarily.
One of the worst drafting teams in the league.
Yeah.
They do undrafted free agents real well.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing else real high level happens in that draft room. Oh, you hit 3 this year with Mac Jones, Barmore, and Ramondre Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real honest with that, okay? You needed a quarterback. You drafted the one that fell to you.
Yes.
Christian Barmore was a top 20 prospect that fell in your lap.
Mm-hmm.
And Ramondre Stevenson is a running back.
Mm-hmm.
That's not exactly high-level drafting. I mean, trust me, I've given you your flowers all I can about how well you did last year.
And your biggest draft home run before that was, what was it? Chandler Jones? You got to go back that far?
You don't have to go back that far, but you're not far off.
Right.
Of hitting a home run.
Right. Because I mean, I can remember, past seasons when we're talking about the draft coming up, and it has been said many, many times that, Bill's, this is what Bill does. Bill gets the best guy available. Does he, though? I mean, when he's not running out to get fourth-round tight ends that you don't use ever?
The other thing that's always blown my mind about this, the vast majority of coaches that have gotten their kudos and wound up with a head coaching job, they were almost all defensive guys.
Yeah.
The only other offensive coach was Bill O'Brien. And what was his – how did he die on the shield in Houston? Because he was a jerk that was just consumed by the ability to have full control.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why would you possibly do that? Because you watch Bill do it.
Right.
Now, can I sit here and tell you that Josh McDaniels would be as weird of a hire as, say, Josh McCown in Houston? No. But this is a much more attractive job than this.
Yeah.
I mean, the other known candidates are Todd Bowles and Gerard Mayo. I have no issue with either of them as a coach. I just don't get it. I don't get how you look at this roster and you look at the setup of this franchise and you say, this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't emphasize this enough. If you think about McDaniel's scheme, I could argue I couldn't find a worse quarterback to run that than Derek Carr. Because it takes away everything he does well. Darren Waller. You ever watch New England play football? They don't particularly love tight ends that can't block.
Right.
Darren Waller's not a blocker. So now you're taking every one of your best pieces offensively, and the only one that fits into this is Hunter Renfrow.
And Foster Moreau.
He doesn't really fit in as well as you think he does. As a third tight end, maybe.
Yeah.
But think of how low down that pecking order he comes. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. The one thing it does tell me, and I may be off base on this, but the one thing that I think we can take away from this, if this does happen, Josh McDaniels is really going to take the Raiders job, is I think it's bad news for everybody in the AFC East, because it tells me that Bill's not going anywhere. Because that's always been.
I don't care. It's secret time. As a fan of a team in the AFC East, I don't care if Bill goes anywhere.
You will never get over that hump. The New York Jets will never get over that hump if Bill's still around.
Disagree with you.
Okay.
I mean, and all right, let's say you're right. It has nothing to do with anything Bill did. That team's not a threat. Sorry, you're not. You have a mediocre quarterback that can't play when it's chilly outside. I don't care if Bill coaches till he's 206 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You took you handed him a big ball of kryptonite when Tom walked out the door. So I could really care less about that.
Don't care about the fact that they were still a playoff team in the rookie year of their new quarterback.
Smoked.
Sure.
I mean, demolished in the first round.
You just keep.
You want to be a team that goes in the playoffs and gets dusted every year? No skin off my nose. It's not changing anything for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, but do you correlate these two things and look at it and go, maybe Bill feels comfortable that he can keep going for another 5 years?
I don't see any.
Because it's always been rumored that Josh McDaniels would take over when Bill was done.
No, I see a correlation.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not that correlation.
He's just not. He's done waiting. He's done waiting for his spot.
No. It's shocking to me that we see this so differently.
Mm-hmm.
He knows where he's at. He's seen a full year of Mac Jones. He knows where this is. They're tied to Mac for the foreseeable future.
Yes.
Bill could retire tomorrow. The Raiders is a more attractive job, and it ain't all that close.
You never, people say it all the time. You don't want to be the guy that follows the guy.
I don't care about following the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I care about the way the roster's set up.
Right.
You're stuck with this for 3 years, no matter what you do. Unless the NFL develops an amnesty clause, you have what you're going to have. And I feel like Josh McDaniels has looked around and gone, well, as an offensive guy, this is going to be a little difficult for me. And when Guru San of the defense steps away and puts his hoodie down and goes to, first of all, Bill Belichick, there's never been a person in the history of time that looks more like somebody that's going to wear a Hawaiian shirt whilst drinking Mai Tais.
No doubt.
Never. Him and Andy Reid, 1 and 2.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like McDaniels looks around and goes, why am I doing this? I've turned down job after job after job, and now I'm a pariah around the league. They called. That's a good roster. That's a good roster that maybe I can change what I do. I don't know. I've never seen him do it.
Mm-hmm.
I watched him go into Denver and try to shoehorn a roster that didn't fit what he did at all, and it blew up in his face. Maybe he's gotten older. Maybe he's matured. I don't know. But my take from this, he looks at New England and goes, this is not where my future is. I don't care if Bill retires next year. I don't care if he retires 5 years from now. I am tied to Mac Jones. And after what I saw in the playoffs, yeah, I think I'm going to pass on that.
Yep.
Because this is my last chance. Josh McDaniels would never get another chance. Let's say he goes to the Raiders or he takes over for Bill. If that goes even half as bad as it went in Denver, you're an offensive assistant for the rest of your life. So what do? You set yourself up in the best position to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks taking somebody with him in Dave Ziegler that knows what he's looking for, has, I can't say drafted because Bill's the one that does all the drafting, but has been involved in the scouting meetings and been involved in all these things of building these teams the way I want it. That's my best position to succeed. Whether Bill's going to be around or not, I don't care. I like that situation better, and he's not wrong. I don't hate this for Josh McDaniels at all, because this is the best job in the NFL that you're going to get in the next 5 years. Because the stink of what you did to Indianapolis is not wearing off of you anytime soon.
Oh, yeah, we hadn't even mentioned that.
Oh, I did. That's the second time I've mentioned it. And I'll mention it anytime his name comes up. And you know why? Because virtually every person I talk to in the NFL, that's the first thing they say about him.
Mm-hmm.
Before Denver, before Tebow, before anything. Can't trust him after what he did to Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
So from McDaniels' point of view, I totally get this. It's the Raiders where I'm looking at this going, this is insane. Your job is markedly better than this.
Markedly.
This is a Jacksonville Jaguar move. And you just can't figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I tie every bit of it back to Mark Davis.
Yep. Didn't even get a full 2 years in Denver before Josh McDaniel got fired, and he was 11-17. That's what you want to sign up for, Mark Davis?
Woohoo!
Oh, I can feel it already. We're going to be called Raider haters all year next year because this is going to be the one for this organization.
I'll still love the Raiders. I just won't love their coach.
You're in the
Secret time? I didn't love the last coach.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We got a big weekend coming up with the conference championship games. Jeremy, you've pulled all kinds of props and stuff. Is that what we're doing? Okay.
I've got just a slew of ways
right.
to bet this at betus.com using promo code Sportsocracy.
All right, we'll go over it all. Plus, we got the weird coming up, the 5 on it. All coming your way next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.